This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 7th year. Talk like you've never heard it before.
From Harlem in New York, it's Alex and the Ramble. Yeah, and we'll be here until, I guess, midnight Eastern Daylight Time. So stick around, have a good time, drink responsibly, okay? And welcome to the first night of our program. Every Wednesday night is the first night of our program. It used to be Mondays, and then it was Tuesdays, and now it's Wednesdays. But then we do a show on Mondays now at 4 o'clock, so I'm still working as much as I was before. Okay? All right. Anyway, I covered this makeup tonight. That's my owie. It's still there, still scab. And my hand's still killing me. And so because I feel so screwed up, my question is, why don't I just go over? Oh, wait a minute, I don't want Charlie Wall. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Okay, I got who I want. Okay, all right. I thought I screwed up or something like that, but I didn't screw up. There he is, ladies and gentlemen, from San Francisco, California, with the Ghirardelli Chocolate Factory in back of him.
Yeah, it's a nice day when you got chocolate, and Ghirardelli used to be a lot more fun. They had tours. They actually made chocolate there.
Yeah.
Now I think it's condominiums.
Yeah, it's not. It was a actual chocolate factory for a San Francisco-based chocolate company that very seldom made it outside of California. Okay, but I think now you can get Ghirardelli just about anywhere, right?
Yeah. Gas stations.
Gas stations? No.
Next to the sushi.
As I remember it, in its heyday, I don't know what it's like now, but in its heyday, it was really great chocolate.
Yeah.
You know, it was really good chocolate. I enjoyed it.
It was.
Yeah.
So, how you feeling?
My hand is still killing me. You know?
Did you get that thing I sent you? The trumpet?
Yes, I got it today. Wait a minute. Where is it? Here it is, just to prove to you that I got it.
All right.
There we go. And this is a way of exercising my hand, I guess.
Yeah. It's called the Grip Master. I see that you're using it all the time.
Well, I mean, I didn't want to open it till you were here.
Oh, this is an unbagging.
Yeah, now that it's here, let me see here. Let me unbag it.
So this allows you to work each finger individually.
Yes, but it isn't my fingers that are killing me.
Well, you said you couldn't close them.
Ow.
That's a pain.
Yeah, no pain, no gain.
Don't squeeze it so hard. Individually, work the fingers, because what you're trying to do is strengthen those fingers. I think you got it on backwards too. Turn it around.
Is it on top?
Just flip it in your hand. The black rubber goes against your palm.
Here, like this? You mean like that?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. And
then that actually will do a good job of working those fingers. You said you had a hard time closing them.
Yeah, well, I don't have as much trouble now closing them. They still hurt a little bit here, but I don't know. I probably
moving those joints will definitely strengthen the joints. Will help with any pain, and don't forget to use your therapy.
Maybe I should. I imagine. I don't think I broke the wrist. I don't think.
You sprained it.
But this long it's taking to cure itself? This is week number 2, I think.
Hold it up to the camera and let me diagnose it. Don't worry about it. In a week, it'll fall off by itself.
Yeah, no, but it looks okay, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not swollen anymore, and it's not black and blue.
But it's been this way for what, 2 weeks? No, wait a minute. No, a week. A week.
Yeah.
A week. Yeah. It was a week ago Monday that I.
Well, yeah, you took quite a fall.
Yep, I certainly did, didn't I? Anyway, so you know, so that's how I'm feeling. And also I think I hit my face or something, because I do have a certain sensitivity in my face.
Yeah.
My face, it's hurting. My face is hurting me. I know it's hurting you too.
Well, is it got anything to do with the dental work that you've been having?
No,
done over the time?
no. It's the teeth are fine. The teeth didn't get dislodged or anything like that, but it hurts a little bit down here and up in here. It was hurting. It's not hurting today, although I took some ibuprofen today because it was really, the face was just kind of like hurting me. But you know, it's going to rain, so a lot of that is, you know, rain problems too. So
Yeah.
anyway, I'm sure I'll get better, or I won't. You know.
Well, I hope you do, and yeah, just try that thing, and it just go slow. Don't do a Louis Armstrong with it.
Right. I'm not trying to. Yeah.
You're not trying to play the trumpet.
Right. But the thing is, and then let's see. Next Monday, I go to my urologist for my.
Oh yeah, I got a thing today. I have to go in and get a PSA done.
Yeah, I have to get my PSA done. I'm always worried about the PSA, and I shouldn't, because probably I'm fine. I'm sure that thing they did to me worked. Right.
Yeah, I like the ostrich approach. I kind of stick my head in the sand, and then I don't have to worry that.
Well, I was looking it up today after brachytherapy, which is one part of what I got, but I also got the radiation as well. That after 5 years, I think there's about a 94% chance it will not come back.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you know, I just had the radical prostatectomy. A year and a half later, it came back. It just started showing some higher PSA, some detectable PSA, and I'm not supposed to have any. So with the 7 weeks of radiation, it went back to no detectable PSA. I guess I'll see this week. I'll probably go on Sunday.
Well,
and,
I will be keeping my fingers crossed for you.
Well, thank you very much.
You know, and I've been having a little pain when I pee, so I got to talk to him about that. But I think that's a result of the seeds that were implanted in my prostate.
Yeah. Well, it's all the stimulation that you get now.
The biggest thrill I've had in the last couple of years was having seeds planted in my prostate. Hey, could you do that again?
Yeah, really.
Well, I don't want
Enjoyed that one.
I don't want to talk about my health. I'm going to quit talking about my health.
Yeah. You got something else to talk about?
Not really. So let's get back to my health.
Yeah. What did Kenji Brown say about your health? She was asked, what is a woman? The Supreme Court.
Listen, that was a stupid question. All right. To begin with, why are you asking her what is a woman?
Well, it's very simple. There's a lot of issues now over whether you can just claim to be a woman or you're a biological woman. And I'm sure these cases will eventually surface to the Supreme Court. I think that swimmer who claims girl and is beating all the other swimmers. And have you seen him when he's on the winning?
Here's the thing. I appreciate that the guy wants to identify as a woman. That's fine. I honor that. I will tell you I have no problem with that. If you want me to refer to you as she, I will be happy to refer to you as she, whatever. But when it comes to something like athletics, there is nothing you have done which has made your body less muscular. And you're going to be much more muscular as a male than you are as a female, because you have testosterone and a whole bunch of other things. And even if you've inhibited your testosterone, you're still going to. So I just don't, I'm kind of one of those people that feels that he should compete as a male. Okay?
I agree.
That if he competed as a male, he'd probably lose a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying women are the weaker sex. I'm just saying that the reason why we have separate women's teams and men's teams is because of the difference in the anatomy.
Well,
Okay.
do you think that the question that was posed to...
I thought it was a stupid question.
Well, I think that
I thought that what those people were doing today was absolutely moronic. I mean,
why? Because they were asking her about cases that seem to be, what do you call it when you rule from the bench?
advocacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's...
No, but those didn't amount to advocacy. And as it was pointed out, 80% of the judges in America have meted out the same sentences for that crime. Okay?
you mean the child pornography?
Yes, yeah. So it was a stupid thing. And then Hawley, who was making a big deal out of it, has also put up who he thinks should be the person that is nominated to be a Supreme Court judge. And it was pointed out by Dick Durbin, I think, that the person he was suggesting be a Supreme Court judge, what do you call it, ruled exactly the same way as she did on a similar case. Okay, so I mean, she tried to explain it. They only had one horse that they could go riding on, and they kept riding that horse till it couldn't ride no more. You know.
Well,
and it was embarrassing to the Republicans.
No,
Let me be honest about something, and you got to be honest about it. She was very poised. She was very well spoken. She seems to me to be one of the best people we've ever put up for that job. I mean, she is eminently qualified and deserving because of her years of duty to this country.
She may be qualified, or she may be a nice person. She may
No, forget about nice person. Qualified. Absolutely qualified jurist.
Is it qualified if you don't rule the way the Constitution is written and you want to rewrite?
When did she do that?
On the
No, you can't name it.
yeah, I can, but
No, you
of course
can't name it.
Remember,
You can't name it. She has ruled the way most judges have ruled in those cases. In 80% of those cases, that's the kind of sentence that is put out there.
Yeah.
So.
There were some guidelines that she was supposed to follow, some sentencing guidelines.
They were suggested guidelines, but nobody followed them. 80% of the people giving out the sentences didn't follow that.
Okay, well, that one I haven't seen publicized.
Well, 80%. It was right there today in the hearings. It was stated as fact that 80% of judges in similar cases have ruled exactly as she did.
All right, well, that will be a good one to look up.
Well, that's nothing to look up. It's fact.
Yeah.
If you want to look it up, go look it up.
Okay, well, I'll look it up when my half hour is up.
Yeah.
Now, let's see what else is going on.
Because what happens is Phil sticks with us. You're going to stick with us tonight, right?
Yeah. What is tonight? Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so you're going to stick with us. So what the second part of the show, after we've done this with him, is all about is him spending the time trying to find an answer that fits his
narrative. But you're not going to let me say it anyway. So,
No, of course not.
When I find it, you'll say, oh, no, we're not talking about that,
But I felt that the Cruz and Hawley and Lindsey Graham, especially, that little piece of work.
Lindsey Graham asked her some pretty good questions.
Oh, no, he didn't. No, he didn't.
What were the questions that he asked that you didn't like?
I'm trying to remember, but they were just stupid. They were stupid questions in which he was trying to nail. He wouldn't, to begin with, he would ask her a question, okay? Yeah. And then while she was answering it, he'd be looking at his papers and back at the next chart he was going to show and some more papers and wasn't even listening to her reply. And then when she was through, he started reading again, from all these list of questions. So, I mean, come on. And then he would interrupt her constantly while she was trying to give him an answer. Yeah. So, I mean, he was rude. He was just plain rude.
Talking about the interruption thing, last night we had a practice community circle for the district attorney thing that I'm doing. And
Community circle jerk, is that what it was?
sort of. But I'll tell you, there's something happened towards the end that I thought was great. But they had something called a talking stick, and you actually
Oh Jesus, not the talking stick.
The talking stick.
God.
You passed it, but nobody interrupted anybody. It was pretty good.
Well, I wish I had a talking stick today for Lindsey Graham. I mean, if you're going to ask her a question, then let her answer it without constantly interrupting her. Wouldn't you agree that would be decent?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And I think she handles herself well based on her position, which I don't think is very strong, but because I don't agree with it. In that she's an activist judge. That's what it is.
Well, an activist judge.
Activist judge. She's trying to change things from
legislate
the bench.
from the bench is the term.
Yeah, right.
And there was no evidence to that effect. And the fact is that all judges have a bias. There's no question about that. And it's just a question that they don't want to judge with bias on the other side, but they don't mind if there's a bias on their side. So
if you ask Josh doesn't think that judges are biased. And
yes, he does. I'm sure he feels that many of them
he's
are.
actually said. Now it'd be interesting if he comes on tonight.
He won't be on tonight. He's only on Fridays.
So. To say something about that, because in the past he's always said that the judges get along. They're not necessarily Republican or Democratic, but I thought that she. In one moment would say, I am going to follow precedent. And in the next moment, she would say, well, maybe she'll consider precedent, but she'll go her.
Well, they were talking about different kinds of cases.
Right.
And there's such a thing as what they call case law or established law. Like, for instance, a lot of arguments are that we won't change Roe versus Wade because it is set law. It's been there for about 40 years, and
it's been challenged a couple of times.
Yeah. So, in other words, I mean, I just think that she is eminently qualified. I think she's good. It's not because of her politics. Quite frankly, I didn't discern any politics in her.
Well, she's very good at not putting it out on her sleeve. But
let me put it this way. She was in a room with some very hostile people. I love how they kept coming back and saying, I'm so proud of how decent this group has been compared to the past.
Compared to...
No. And then you got these guys. It wasn't as decent.
Oh, yeah. So they didn't ask her if she raped some of her students.
Well, no. The thing is with what's his name, the other guy, I can't remember his name, but with a K. He one of the reasons a lot of people were going after him is because he was so combative with the panel, rather than trying to be quiet and decent and good. He just started lashing out at them, and then he did that whole crying fit. So he was asking for it.
I don't think so.
He was asking
and
for it.
if they went after her,
between you and me, whether it was him or whether it was any other person, I don't think that judges up for this job should have to go through this gauntlet. Okay.
Well, I got a feeling that she'll be confirmed.
But she will be confirmed. There's no question about that.
And
they've got all the Democrats they need. And if a couple of Republicans want to look good, I think a couple of Republicans will probably vote for her.
Most likely. There'll be a few that go over and vote for her.
I mean, you can't look at those hearings today and yesterday and the day before. You can't look at them, even if you're a staunch Republican, and say, "Hey, she's pretty good." She's decent.
I put myself in the senator's seat, and I asked myself today if, based on what I've heard, and the fact that she was appointed by a president, and it's his call to appoint them, and either she or the appointee is qualified to do the job. I think that she is qualified, and most likely, as conservative as I am, I would vote that she be given a position on the Supreme Court.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that years ago when Biden eviscerated what's her name,
Oh yeah, the Coke can one.
yeah, the Coke can one, she had a lot of goods on. Again, I'm trying to remember Clarence Thomas, and I think that was one that shouldn't have been confirmed.
Well, I don't know.
And I don't know. He had. It looks like he was in the hospital with the flu this week.
I know you're kicking a guy down. Kicking a guy when he's down.
Have I kicked him yet?
You're waiting.
Now I'll kick him while he's down. I wish he were because he's so disgustingly ineffective as a justice.
No.
What do you mean? He sits back and never asks questions.
Look, he's 1/9 of the thing, and he votes. And he votes.
They all have to vote.
Right.
What do you mean he votes? It's their job to vote.
Yeah, and he's not the main guy. The main guy is Roberts, and
Yeah, but Roberts doesn't make all the decisions.
No, but who writes when they vote one way or another? Somebody has to write an opinion.
He writes. He's one of them.
Roberts.
They all write an opinion.
Yeah, and what are you saying, that Clarence Thomas doesn't write an opinions often enough, or?
He writes opinions, but he doesn't ask questions when they're having the talking to the attorneys and so on who are speaking before him. He never asks questions. Never.
Well, because he's listening to their presentation.
Well, anyway, I'm hoping he's too sick to keep going.
Well, not me. He's only 73, and I'm sure he's gotten some of the best health care that money can buy, or the government's money can buy. Mm-hmm. And 73 is. I want people to live a lot longer than that.
Yeah,
that's not that much. That's not that much further from me. I mean,
Yeah.
It's 5 years.
Yeah, but anyway, I think that she will be confirmed. There's no question about that. And it's just to put her through this gauntlet. I mean, I don't know what it served. The Republicans who were trying to nail her were also trying to get reelected this year.
Yeah.
Or have a soundbite for their presidential campaign.
Who's the guy that Reagan put up that they just eviscerated for his writings while he was a professor?
That was Bork.
Bork.
Yeah.
And I don't think that what the Dems did to Bork was fair. And you probably don't like Bork. I
don't like Bork, but I agree with you. The Dems nailed Bork, but they were not nailing him for things that he hadn't said or done.
No, but he did it in the light of being a professor and challenging people's thoughts and thinking as his students.
By the way, you do know that for a Supreme Court justice, you don't have to be a lawyer.
No.
Or even a teacher. I mean, hell, you could be a comedian, for crying out loud. You could be anybody.
Zelensky may need a job.
Yeah, Walensky may need one. But it's kind of and what's going on in the Ukraine. I give up on this country. I just give up on it.
Well, we're not. You're giving up on our country, not Ukraine, right?
Not the Ukraine. I give up on us. I think that there's a point at which you do something for humanity, and you do something for people who are being literally killed mercilessly. And I think that we've gone into other countries at one time or another because that was happening, and they weren't members of NATO. I mean, don't you think that as a country that says we're here for humanity, and we're here to protect humanity, that this is the one time we should be doing something about it?
Well, I've said that before. Do you remember that movie Hotel Rwanda?
Yeah.
And do you remember what was going on and how people were getting slaughtered just because they were related to another tribe? Mm-hmm. What did we do with that? I mean, that was during the Clinton era, but what did we do? We did nothing. I know. And we just watched that slaughter take place.
And we always like to sit around and say what wonderful people we are. We ain't that good.
Well, we have an opportunity to support freedom, and I really hope that we're able to do it. And
Well, all I know is I see the people there, and I see them being, these are people that 28 days ago had homes they were living in, and families they were raising, and jobs they were going to, and everything. And now what they've got is a country that is basically looks like the Bronx years ago.
It's war torn. It looks like Syria did when all of that was bombed. And the Russians played a big role in the Syrian oppression. I believe that what kind of weapons were they?
Biological.
Biological weapons that were used, and that's when Trump sent the 51 Tomahawk missiles to the site where they were launched from. But that was it. That America has never not had any responses to those kinds of.
Anita Hill, somebody just mentioned here. John Redshaw mentioned it on our chat. Anita Hill. Anita Hill.
Anita Hill.
Yeah. That was a woman I felt that Biden should have nominated for Supreme Court justice. Number one, because it would drive what's his name nuts.
Yeah.
And secondly, because he did so much to eviscerate her in those hearings, if you remember.
Well,
he owed it to her.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that's the way you appoint somebody. This woman has been a judge. She has a record. And I know you're right. You don't have to be a judge or an attorney.
Well, you're talking about Bork being a professor. So is Anita Hill. She's a very well-known professor in the field of law.
Was Bork a judge as well?
I don't think so, but I'm not. I really don't remember.
Yeah,
all I remember is his name sounded like a sound that you make in a bathtub when you fart.
Well, now
Bork.
What's happening, sort of happening to this woman, and what happened to the previous two, Barrett and what's his name? I can't remember his name now. But what happened to them? They call it borking. So that's when someone comes
as I
up,
say, I always find that funny because when I was a kid, we used to refer to farting in the bathtub as a bork.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because his sound is bork.
Yeah, well, it reminds me of that story that you told about Terry McGovern and the Wookie, and
how Wookie came to
name. Yeah. Now I have some friends that work for Lucas, and he said that they have a trivia night amongst employees on Lucas Trivia. So I gave him that one. And hopefully I explained it to him.
Well, that's
properly.
a pretty well-known story.
Oh, really?
Probably maybe the better trivia question was, who came up with the name Wookie?
That would have been Terry McGovern's father.
No, Terry McGovern.
Yeah, but he got it from his father.
Yeah, I think so. That's how I remember it, that he got it from his father because his father... when they would be driving down the road and all of a sudden they would hit something in the road,
Pothole.
Pothole or whatever, and Terry would say to his father, "What was that?" And he said, "Oh, that's a Wookie."
Right.
Yeah. So they were driving down the road together, and he hit a pothole, and he said, Lucas said, "What was that?" And he said, "That was a Wookie," and he liked the term, and it stuck.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Or what part did Terry McGovern play in Star Wars?
I don't remember. The only time I saw Star Wars, because I really wasn't into it, is you gave me a VHS tape of the first Star Wars.
They might still bust me for it.
It's been well over 30 years.
No, but Terry McGovern played the voice of the stormtrooper that says, "These are not the rebels we want," or whatever. You remember
really?
When they're stopped? Yeah, the voice is his. Yeah, these are not the. I'm trying to remember something or another we want.
Yeah.
So anyway, but
that's pretty cool.
But
let's
anyway,
see what else.
You want to hear what people want to talk about?
Yeah. Can you believe it's already 5 minutes after the hour?
Yeah, it's 5 minutes after the hour, and time to admit Charlie Wallace, Alan, and Jeffrey Stein. They're the ones that are here so far.
Well, Alan's death has been greatly overreported. You see, what's happening is Tony keeps calling me and asking me to have Alan unblock him. And I told Tony, I said, look, you kept sending Alan stuff, and Alan said if you didn't stop sending it, he'd block you. Well, he blocked him a second time. He gave him a second chance. So Tony says, well, can't you ask him to unblock me? I said, no, I can't. I said, Alan was killed. He was run over by a bus last week, and I can't ask him to unblock you anymore.
Well, that's what I used to do with people I didn't like.
Yeah.
Okay. They would say, whatever happened to so and so, and I would say, didn't you hear he died in a horrible car crash upstate?
Well, I kept telling Tony all this gruesome stuff and how the bus ran him over and his eyes popped out and all sorts of stuff. And Tony, every morning he writes me, he says, what happened to Alan? So.
Yeah. Well, there he is, folks. There's Alan. There he is, Tony, in case you're watching right now.
His death has been overstated.
Yeah. But no, there was a woman named Gloria Leonard. She was an adult film actress who then became the editor of High Society magazine. And we didn't like each other much for a while. We got to be friends later on, but for a while we just didn't like each other. And when people would say to me on the radio, whatever happened to Gloria Leonard, I would say she got killed in a car crash upstate. And eventually she threatened to sue me because people were sending her, regrets to her apartment, and we're sorry to hear about your, So
I think that's all comes out of that Paul is dead thing,
No, that was true. Paul was dead.
Yeah.
Listen to the guy who's playing his music now. Is that Paul McCartney? No. No.
You're out of color, Phil. I just sent you a picture of you.
I'm out of color.
You're bright
Well, that's because
red.
I'm Jewish.
What? You're what? He's what?
He's bright red.
Oh, I can fix
Well, so am I.
No, you're not. You're fine, Alex. Everybody else is fine.
Let me see if I can fix
Why
it.
don't you just go to black and white if you can?
Yeah.
Just,
Let's see. Advanced.
here we go.
Okay.
No, it's in basic.
How you feeling, Alex?
Yeah.
After your tumble last week, you feeling better?
Yeah, still the hand's still hurting. Hand's still hurting.
You want to avoid that little thing that Phil gave you. That thing will wear your hand out.
Why? Have you been using it to masturbate?
Wait a minute. Now
Yes.
you're too red. You know what you look like? You look like Trump.
Yeah. Now he's orange.
Now I'm looking like Trump.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
The big orange nothing burger. Yeah.
That's
Hey,
better.
Charlie, how'd you
Don't touch anything.
how'd you feel about what's her name? What's her name again? Brown.
Jackson. Yeah.
Jackson
Yeah.
Brown. How do you feel about
music all the
Jackson Brown?
time.
As far as I know, I don't really know much about her. I haven't been watching the hearings.
She really, yeah. How about you? Have you been watching it at all, Jeff?
I watched it for I guess an hour,
Mm-hmm.
and it's pretty. It's an argument about nothing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A lot of them were just wasting our time.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. Alan.
Yeah, so yesterday, one of the Republican senators asked her, don't you think we ought to arrest more murderers? And she said, well, I think all murderers ought to be arrested. And he said, that's not the question I'm asking you. And she says, well, the answer to that question is, as a judge, I don't arrest them. That's the job of the police. And the guy that looked beet red.
Well, you should have seen Hawley today when Durbin said, and by the way, for one of our Republican senators here, the fact of the matter is that the person that you want to have nominated for the Supreme Court judge also, ruled exactly the same way she did. And then they took a shot at him, and he had this look on his face like, oh boy, I'm a bad boy. He really looked like he'd been taken to the woodshed.
Yeah.
But I mean, there were some stupid questions. I mean, yeah. Do you think that we should arrest more people for murder? Well, I guess we have to get people to pick up the slack and do some more murdering. Yes, Charlie.
Yeah, plus, Ted Cruz was asking her about this private school that had critical race theory, a book about it, whatever, in the library. It's a private school. They can have whatever they want. If they want to have flat earth stuff in there, they can have it because it's private, it's not public. But he's asking her about that as if she has something to do with that.
Well, I mean, the thing is, this whole...
Oh, and he has his kids go to a private school in Texas that has the same book in the library.
Yeah, well,
He never read the book.
I think that's really
the big lie that has been proffered all by the Republicans constantly is the fear that they're teaching critical race theory in grade school. There is not a single grade school in America, and I dare you to find one, that teaches critical race theory. Now, there may be a book in the library about it, since libraries have books on everything. There are even books on Grecian myth, okay? But the point is that there is no classroom in America, in college, they do teach what critical race theory is to students who want to find out what the theory is, but it's not we're not teaching it in grade schools, okay? So stop already. It's a big lie.
a law school thing.
It's a law school thing. And somebody came up with it. I can't remember who it was, but they showed the guy. He appears on Fox a lot. He came up with this idea that I'll come up with critical race theory, and we'll go get the Democrats with this. But he even knew it didn't exist in schools. You know, so I mean, that's what's so terrible is when they do stuff like that. You know, why create myth? And they were asking her questions that, you know, you can't ask hypothetical questions to a person who is learned as she is, because she doesn't want to answer hypothetical questions. Put a real question in front of her, and she'll answer it, you know? Put her in a court of law where she's got to determine whether something is right or wrong, or academic or not, and she will then rule on it. But outside of that workplace, you can't say, well, what if somebody came in front of you and wanted to make sure that all turds were brown? How would you vote? You know, how would you rule on that? Well,
I may have to take that case in the future, so I don't want to have to Cruz.
And Cruz, as a turd himself, would be very easy. Would care about that answer. You know, I mean, I just found it unseemly. Okay, I mean, you want to ask definite questions about how she would rule on certain things. Where do you fall on certain things? I mean, like when they asked her about when Lindsey Graham said, "Are you a religious woman? What religion are you?" I would have told him to shove it 5 ways and put it where the sun don't shine, because my religion is my religion. I don't have to tell you what my religion is, and it doesn't matter.
And it's right there in the Constitution. There
Get
was
ready,
no
everybody get ready to have a
religious
drink. Phil's going to come
Look,
up with something.
he asked that question based on the questions that were given to Coney Barrett, because she was being challenged.
She was being asked if
She
had,
belonged to a cult.
Yeah.
Jackson's not in any cult.
I think so. The cult of liberalism.
Amy
People minded.
Coney Barrett belongs to a cult that believes that a woman has to defer to the man's beliefs no matter what.
I like it.
It was a legitimate question to ask her if she was going to have to go to her husband to get the answer every time a case came before her in the court.
Okay,
I doubt it.
No, wait a minute.
I
Wait a
doubt
minute.
it.
That's not a bad question. Okay, the point is, though, they didn't ask her what religion she was. They asked her if her personal faith. Now, this would have been a legitimate question. Does your political faith play anything into the decisions you're making on the stand? And that would be a legitimate question. But to ask her what the religion was, and does she how many times does she go to church every year? I think that was asked. I mean, I'm sorry.
These people
You know
are
what I would have said? You know what I would
they're
have said?
attorneys. They're attorneys. How does an attorney ask a question? They go
no,
around.
but they actually said to her, you know,
Yeah.
how often do you go to church?
Let me get a calendar on it.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I would have said if they would ask me? I was rooting for the Romans. Does that make it any clear? I'm joking.
you know, I would have just, I
Keep
would
them
have
up there a little
told them,
longer.
look, you have no right to ask me that question because
you
you can't use the discrimination of my religion or lack of it as a determination for this job. And I'm giving you a legal answer with that one.
Yeah, he's right about that, Phil. Come on.
You know.
Because how many times can you? I never went to church really, only on high holy days, and my mother never really dragged us there at all. You know, we
Maybe
never
you
really-
should have gone
That's
more
why you
often.
turned out the way you did.
I probably
Yeah.
should. No, I mean, I kind of believed in all religions. My mother let me read up on anything I wanted, really, so she didn't stop me, really.
Obviously, that you read up on anything you wanted to. You were reading comic books all the time.
That's true. In church, all I used to do is memorize those prayers, Alex. I had no idea what was going on. As soon as I started questioning things, they used to call when my mother used to.
By the
pick
way,
me
have
up.
you had some of Alan's coffee tonight?
I actually do. I thought Phil had him hitting the bus
How can I tell?
because I get all hot. I'm staying up late tonight to watch Abbott and Costello, so I'm going to go to sleep.
Haven't
late.
sent
Tony?
him any coffee in over a week.
You know, Tony, what happened was because of your prayers, Alan has risen again. Look, there he is.
I didn't even ask my mom to throw a blessing yet, but now that I see he's okay, I would
No,
have a
he's
rose
not
with him.
okay. But if you send him that comic
Well,
book,
let's
he'll
just
be better.
let's get this all settled. Alan, why aren't you answering any of Tony's texts?
Oh, I don't blame him, Alex.
There you go. You got your answer. Tony,
Because I'm a pain in the neck. I am.
So,
I
you
feel
know-
like I'm impulsive.
yeah, originally I made him a friend on Facebook,
I
and
try to behave.
the text messages are hi, message, how you doing, message,
Well, I was just
you're not up
confused.
yet, message, and
Message,
there's
I
like
do-
70 or 80
I do
messages.
that to my brother, then my brother.
You know
just
how
ignores me.
you asked me how this goes, but everybody knows how it goes with him. And so I said, could you please tone this down to just, a couple messages a day or something funny or a joke or something? Oh, yeah, that didn't happen. I blocked him. He
Yeah.
begged me to unblock him, and he promised to not do it again.
I'll try to
don't
be
And I
ever,
was
don't ever,
gullible,
don't ever believe that.
Yeah.
Don't
You
ever
guys are
believe
Alex.
that. If
You know
you,
what
if
I-
any of you get a
Yeah,
text from
exactly.
Tony or a thing on Facebook Messenger
Yeah.
from Tony, do not answer him.
I agree. with
Okay,
him.
do not answer him. You're
when I go
asking
visit
for a
Jackie-
world of hurt.
I
When I
was
visit
warned.
Jackie, you know what I
I
tell
was
him?
warned by Alex and by Phil. You may not want to make.
I
him a
got something for you,
Facebook
Alex.
friend.
I'm leaving this over at Shecky's house for you, Alex, when I go over. I got you the Wolverine origins for you.
Oh, okay, good. Thank you very much.
When I
appreciate
go,
that.
you're welcome. When I go over with Shecky, you know what I always tell him? You should have listened to Alex.
What?
He goes, I'm a glutton for punishment.
Oh yeah, I told him. I said, do not answer him.
Where's your background?
Oh shit, he's in my house. What do you want for
Oh,
breakfast
you-
tomorrow?
you
I got
want-
eggs.
I
just
like
put
my
3 dozen eggs
background
in
to be
Costco.
different tonight.
See, I can't change my background here because if I do it, the
I'm a
whole
good
process will show up on the show.
Oh,
that
Well,
air
I'll make you a
conditioner
Western
is gone now.
That's what I usually do for my brother. I make him. I get up early. Phil, I'm up. Alex has me pegged. I can stay up till 2 a.m. with my coffee, watching TV. People can call me. I'm up still. They're like, and we know he's up. Because I usually, when I'm up, I'm up all night.
you need a job, Tony.
Well, I have a job. I'm self-employed, but I got too much time on my hands, and I'm just reading all night. I got stuff all over. He has me pegged, Alex. 100%.
I think maybe a lot of wine instead of.
I think
coffee.
wine. Yeah, try
Might
some
be
wine,
appropriate.
Tony.
Really? Does it settle you at night before going to? Maybe it should work, Jeff. Would it make me go to
Oh,
sleep?
it's good.
If you have a glass of wine, and Dr. Allen will tell you, if you have a glass of wine and 10 milligrams of Valium, you'll be just
Why
fine.
don't I take?
And you got the Valium at your mom's Valium, right?
Yeah,
I don't know what.
There you
I'm
go.
gonna dump it out though. I gotta dump it.
That's my drug of choice.
diazepam, same
I like
thing.
Valium.
Yeah, I don't take it much because if I take it with the pregabalin, I'll get really loopy. Yeah.
Pregabalin itself makes people loopy.
Well, I mean, pregabalin, I'm on it all the time. I've got to stop it. I got to stop it. But
How's your Alex? I heard your hand was still sprayed. Checking, you were saying it before.
it's still
You
hurting.
felt good then.
It's still hurting.
Yeah, you know what? You probably sprained it bad. Not bad, but enough.
No, I probably bruised it bad, and it's taking its fair time to heal.
I find
Yeah.
that the older you get, the longer,
my shoulder-
takes
Longer
to
it
heal.
takes.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
anyway.
maybe forever.
And then I have my urologist on Monday. Oh God.
Boy, that was a nice
April
thing to
out.
say, Jeff. Now his hand will hurt forever.
What?
It's a reality.
What? That
Your
it-
hand may hurt forever, according to Jeff.
My shoulder, my left shoulder from basketball, I separated it years ago. So whenever like it acts up, if I sleep on it, like the last week, I had to take like Tylenol because it was like acting up. It was aching. So then I kind of iced it down, so I got a little better. It's hard to
Tylenol
sleep.
and 2 cups of
Well,
coffee.
the only thing that seems to help this at all is ibuprofen. You know.
Okay, so it works.
I tried Tylenol, and I tried aspirin, and I was having some pains in my face today.
Ooh.
And I just said it, and I took a heavy duty ibuprofen, and it helped me for a while. You know.
Yeah, well, on your hand, use that thing just on those 2 fingers that are giving you a problem. Just use it for a couple of 30 seconds, a couple of times a day. That's all. And
Dr.
it'll
Meyer
help.
has spoken.
He's a
Yeah.
doctor.
I'll listen to Harry James' record while doing it.
Yeah, it's like a trumpet.
By the way, not a single young person listening to us, if there are any, understood that joke.
I don't know who that guy is.
Because who the hell is Harry James?
Well, I'm thinking about buying a turntable. You
You
know,
need to get one? I want
I got rid of my turntable, I don't know, 20 years ago. And now I've been looking in eBay at Thorne's turntables. But and then I went and looked up what kind of turntable did they have on Bosch, and that was a Marantz 6300. Are you familiar with what's your favorite turntable there?
Anyone that goes around.
Nah, come on.
Turntable I
some
bought
are
in
better than others.
1969 still works.
Really? I love the records.
I have a technique that's made for a dance club that you
Mine's
can
a
reverse the
garage.
needle and everything. He doesn't want that.
No,
50
at the radio
years old.
station.
Why do you want to
used
buy a Thorne? Why
too.
do you want to even buy one?
Well, it's something, maybe I'd start buying a couple of albums because of the sound that they have.
I have a big stack albums you can have once you get
Oh,
your
see,
turn
I was
on.
being nice. Look at
See,
that.
I've got a stereo. I've got
How much
speakers,
does a Thorens run?
between 400 and 2,000, depending on who's
Why
selling.
don't you think about buying the $2,000 one, and just before you buy it, send me the $2,000?
Yeah. No, send him a buy Alex the system.
Will you take a
You know,
check?
exactly what-
Oh, so you know what happened to me? This is interesting. It has nothing to do with health or anything. So I got to pay this guy who we rented the apartment from $75,000. Why, I have no idea. But if it shuts him up, it shuts him up. Okay, and he's agreed to let us have the apartment.
So here's
Well,
something.
wait a minute.
that a lot of
I'm
people won't
mentioning.
get.
I'm talking about something here.
Oh, sorry.
So I have my business manager write him a check for $75,000, and we get the check to him, and he goes to the bank to cash it, and they say, Bank of America won't clear this check. Okay, so now he calls me and he goes, they refused it, They said the check is bad or something. I said, it's not bad. It's good. So I call my business manager. And then we get on call to the bank and they say, oh, yeah, it was rejected because, anybody have a guess why? Because we tried to call you and we couldn't get a hold of anybody because we wanted to okay the check. Because it's for that much money, we want to make sure it's just the proper amount and all of that. Well, to begin with, they claim they called me, and the person of record to call is not me, it's Gary, my business manager. And so they rejected the check. And by the way, I looked at my call log on my phone. I never got a call from Bank of America. So now we tell him, well, redeposit it. So he goes back to his bank. We can't take it. It's been refused already once.
Plus, they want $30 probably bounce check fee.
Who knows? Who knows?
They called Alex Bennett in Russia. So you talk about things that the younger people wouldn't understand. How about this?
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so...
on with the story?
On with the story. So anyway, I mean, I just, it just got to me that my bank, thank you for trying to save my ass. Why are you saving my ass? Cash the goddamn check.
They don't want to be on the hook for it.
No. Here's the thing. They said, well, our fraud department, when they see this large an amount, like to okay it through the person who the check was made by, so that, so if you can't get a hold of me, try and get a hold of me again. All right? Or there was another number on there, which was my business manager's number. Call him. But, don't just reject it out of hand.
They keep calling Alex Bennett, who lives in Moscow.
Yeah. So
Their approach is, when in doubt, don't pay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, but, this is, I mean, it's the most I've ever
That's why you get a new bank.
Yeah.
Bank of assholes.
So then the guy made out the check too says, well, just have him wire me the money. Well, we don't want to wire him the money because we want an acknowledgement that he got the money, and an endorsement on a returned check is an endorsement that he accepted the money.
Your banks, they don't return the checks anymore. It used to be you got an envelope and it had 30, 40, 50 checks in it. Now, all you get is a statement.
I think
digitally, you can get a digital.
Digitally, you can get it. Yeah, you can get it.
Proof.
So now, then Gary, my business manager, had to get a hold of my lawyer to see how we should handle it.
$500.
It seems as though this guy owes us $4,200 for our deposit, which we've not seen back yet. So he said, just send him the money minus the $4,200.
No, don't.
Huh?
Don't, because then they may say that you're not you're not doing what the agreement said to do. The $4,200 is a different deal.
Well, if he wants the other $4,200, send us $4,200, and we'll send you another $4,200 or whatever.
Well, it's nice to have a paper.
No, and you say don't do that, but our lawyer said to do that.
Yeah.
Your lawyer said to do a lot of
more
things.
than lawyers.
Now you're paying $75,000 instead of getting $300,000 in treble damages.
Yeah, well, that wasn't going to be. It wasn't the nature of the court that we were in. So, anyway,
I'll be back in a minute.
I'll be glad when it's all over. But, huh?
Going into he Phil left and going to my kitchen. I see him go. Hey, get out of the refrigerator. I'm joking.
People don't know what we're talking about because when you're there, okay.
It's dark.
And by the way, move your head up into the picture a little more, Tony. Yes, you, Tony.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There you go. And now move out of the picture for a second, so it won't be the white shirt won't be lowering the video there.
Is
Just
that
move
okay?
over. Move out of the picture a second. You're not moving out of the picture.
Oh, I'm still in. How about now?
Just move out of the picture or duck under.
Totally out. There you go.
Yeah,
No,
there.
look at
See,
you.
now you
Perfect.
can see
Right
it's
there.
the same.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
it's
Just
the
stay
same.
there.
Can I
Go
go in the
move.
other room? I'm coming back.
While you're down there, could you do something for me?
I'm gonna have another cup of coffee.
Wait a minute, I got Ray's.
There you go. Go get some coffee. Now it'll be bright. There you go.
Here comes Ray. Hello, Brian. I haven't talked to you tonight.
Hello. How's the hand?
Everybody has to ask.
I'm just here to defend Tony. Now he's gone. What the hell?
You went
That's
to get
him
another
now.
cup of coffee, Brian.
I think he went to send me another voicemail.
You gonna send you another
Oh,
voicemail?
God,
Oh, really? Turn your mic down a little bit. Your mic is a little high.
Somebody's mic is high.
Oh, wait a minute. Maybe that was Tony's mic because he moved out of the way. Yeah, now you're okay, Brian.
I'm here to defend Tony. Tony leaves me messages during the day, and on my ride home, when I'm really down and so beat up from work, I get to listen to New Yorker just talk about life. It's great.
I'm a pest.
See,
I
so
love
you
it.
do the same message, Tony. Do you send him the same message that you send me?
I send so many messages to people, I lose track.
Tony,
I just-
here's the nature of what you've got to do. Okay,
Don't listen to him, Tony. Don't listen to him.
Sometimes you get
you're such a troublemaker, Brian.
It says, "Hello, Brian. How are you today?" So maybe he has something.
No.
that
Here's
just
what it
inserts
has.
the name and he blasts it out to everybody.
Here's how he sends messages on Facebook Messenger. Hello. Then the next balloon is Alex, and the next balloon is how, and the next balloon is R, and the next balloon is you. He never learned to put all his thoughts in just one message.
That's exactly what my brother says. You know, all I hear is ding, 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 ding. He's in a meeting.
How about one sentence in a
Well,
message?
I mentioned in the past, my watch goes off every time I get a message
So
on the
does his.
messenger.
He had to mute him during his
And my
sleep.
watch,
Meeting.
my arm was
My
cramping.
My brother was at a meeting, Alex 301, his boss says, I think that's your brother, Greg. Why don't you get it? See how he's doing. He
Yeah.
doesn't want anything.
Here,
What do you want for dinner? That's what I'm saying.
let me show you what happens. Phil,
Yeah,
have you got Facebook up right now?
yeah.
Okay, go there and just send me a message. Message me. Watch what happens, folks. Watch, it'll make a liar out of me now. See?
There it is. Yeah.
There it is. And that's what happens like 40 times when Tony starts
brother
messaging me.
said
Oh, there we
monkey.
go. There we go.
Ding.
Keep going, Phil.
Mhm.
Be Tony. Go ahead.
You yell at me.
Oh yeah. Well, look, I've got a
Oh,
thing. You know, my Facebook account is restricted.
Why?
I thought I was a non-Jewish hotel. It says it's restricted. Why? Because in 2020, it says I posted something that had to do with suicide, and so they restricted my account. And it says, see restrictions. You cannot go live for 28 days.
You said Alan killed himself. That's why.
Well, yeah. And it
Yeah.
says that I can't advertise for 28 days.
Oh, what's your carpet business gonna do?
Well, that account isn't restricted. It's only me. But Alex wants me to.
No, that's fine. I got Alan sent me a message too, but you can hear what happens. And now if you can imagine Tony sending you 20 messages,
Yeah, I used to do that a lot.
In
Go ahead.
1 minute.
There you go.
and that's why he can't message me now. Try messaging me right now, Tony.
I had him. You probably have me blocked, I think.
That's exactly
I get upset
it.
when I get blocked. I'm like a child.
I just sent you 10,
Really?
Alex.
Is that him? That's him?
Yeah,
No,
Tony.
my mother.
But see, I'm on the way home and I listen to all these and I just sit there laughing. It makes me.
I apologize.
Well,
if
wait a
I-
minute.
if I
Why don't you
text
just
bro.
hit one of the ones that's an audio one and put it up to your microphone?
I
and
tried that.
Well, somebody talks about you, so let me check these.
Yeah, make sure they're okay. But they're always in jest, though. I don't think
No,
it's
he's
really
always talking about the guy stealing his packages and the
Oh
crime
yeah, I had a
around
thing
there.
for the-
Okay, wait a minute here.
Oh yeah,
Funny
it might be
thing.
one of them.
Never have stolen the coffee, have they, Tony?
Whatchamacallit? Kevin's mom, he sent me the thing, like our online mass thing. You could like send wishes
Yeah.
with that. I send chocolate to the house or the family, like a grieving basket.
I did.
See, that's what my mother would tell me to do. She says, you got to send something to the house
She could tell me that.
so you're remembering them. So I did that. It's better than flowers, too. Everybody sends flowers, but that's boring. Yeah, I don't like that. I'd rather send something that they could enjoy. I mean, and you know what the funeral parlor guy told me?
You listen
Papa
to this.
Vera, when they go to the cemetery, you know what they do, people? People trail and they take the fucking flowers.
Can you believe
That's how
that?
horrible people are, Phil. That is how horrible people are. They will spill graveyard flowers. It's
He told me
disgusting, really. I
Can I
would
turn
just
off the
people. I'll send gift baskets to the house.
He would steal
Boy,
the flowers the Papa Vera guy.
Tony,
Yeah.
you could make someone want to kill themselves.
You think so?
Hey, they
He's still here.
restricted me.
Maybe that's why he's restricted, Alex. I better knock it off. Phil may take the razor to himself. I think he finds it funny, though. Phil's got to say
Phil is in Facebook jail. How funny.
Well, I can't go live and I can't advertise. Well, I've never advertised.
Maybe that was the
and
reason we had trouble the other night when we were trying to talk on Facebook.
No, because we were talking on Facebook. It was the next day that they picked me up. And I looked, and I don't post that much on Facebook.
What
I looked, and I didn't see anything out of place.
Alex, you could try messaging me. I'll see if it goes through. I'm going to try to bait him. And I'm going to reel you back in.
Oh, it would go through. It would
I
definitely.
know. That's what I was hoping. That I can
Tony,
get
you
back
can
on.
send me a message and see what happens.
Anyway, how you doing, Ray?
I can't. No kidding.
Oh, I'm okay.
Oh, he's in my house too. I like
You working, Ray? Are you doing anything?
Meet the monster.
I've been auditioning. I have to do all these self tapes and send them in on video. I did 3 today. It took me all day.
Are they San Francisco or the?
Yeah, for commercials.
Oh, really? Cool.
What do you tape this stuff? Ray, how do you do that?
I have like a whole freaking studio over here
Do
set
they
up.
give you something to read? Is that how it works?
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, today I had lines, yeah.
Yeah, well, I had I had this thing. I get these casting notices for extra work, and I've been thinking about doing it just for the hell of it, you know.
It's fun.
Well,
You meet a lot of people.
they needed. Let's see here. They needed a couple days ago. They needed some extras for Mrs. Maisel, and the Blacklist was another show, and Manifest, and quite a few. Yeah, and they need a lot of them.
It's SAG-AFTRA work too, so you'll get paid sort of. Okay.
Well, it's $182, and if they want to stick a swab up your nose, it's an extra $100.
Yeah.
Let him do the nose. That's $300.
Yeah.
And you probably get lunch with that too, I bet you.
Yeah.
I mean, the last extra thing I did, I got like $500. I literally did nothing.
Is Maisel shot in New York?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Alex, I know where the house is in Forest Hills. Me and my sister go by the.
Yeah, the exteriors. They, for all we know, they probably do shoot in Hollywood for the intern.
So I'm so
interiors.
confused about Maisel because I went to Paramount Studios and they showed us the outside of one of the bar, like that main bar she used to go to. Maybe it was just season 1. I don't know.
Well,
But I know they shoot in New York. But I saw the setup.
Well,
there.
I do know the place they use as a kosher restaurant or whatever that they sit in. I know where that is, right next to the movie theater we used to go to, and they closed it down. So they just are using an empty old restaurant.
What I think what it is season 1. If you go back in season 1, you see a lot of shots that are always the same with her standing in front of this thing. It's actually, I think it's Paramount Studio, but I haven't seen it since like season 1, so I don't think they do it anymore.
Well, I do.
The new one?
I started watching the new season. I've watched the first episode. It was horrible.
Yeah,
It got better.
Oh, it gets better.
It
Okay.
kind marginally better, but not great. Not great.
It wasn't as good as it used to be.
But what they've got to be shooting right now here in New York is next season, because this season is over with already. You know, so we'll see.
So is this? What is it? The season? It gets better because man, it's not even close to the other.
No,
first
it's
season.
not. No, but it's better than it was the first episode.
Oh yeah, that was awful. Oh my god.
Well, how many series do you know that keep getting better, or are as
Not
good
many.
in their 5th year as they are in their first year?
You know, there's just a handful.
I'm trying to think, maybe Match. Or...
Longmire.
The Wire, Sopranos,
Yeah.
Dexter got worse.
Seinfeld was pretty good
Seinfeld
to
got
the
better.
end.
Always
6
got
Feet
better.
Under.
6 Feet Under got better.
Yeah.
A lot of those original HBO shows, most of them got better.
Yeah, but I mean, what happens is they get to the 2nd season and they
Breaking Bad.
Yeah, they didn't know what made him so successful in the first season, and so they try to kind of play on that, and they lose it.
Yeah,
like Breaking
it's like
Bad.
they're trying too hard.
Well, I think Breaking Bad wasn't as good in its 2nd season, but then it picked up in its 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
There's
I
gonna
agree.
be another Saul coming out in April, right?
Well, it's the last season.
Last season.
And they're going
I
to
like
chop
him
it
a
up
lot.
into two seasons. Is what they're going to do. They're shooting, I think, 15 of them or 14 of them, and then they're separating them up into two runs. So.
That's one show I really enjoyed.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Aw,
He's good.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Bob
Bob
Odenkirk.
Odenkirk.
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah.
He's great,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Well, I had this friend, his name was Bob Rubin, as you may know or not know, because I've used him on this show. And Bob was going with a woman at the time. They got to know, and we were all hung out together and whatever. And then they broke up. She moved down to Hollywood, became an agent, married Bob Odenkirk, and became Bob Odenkirk's agent. So she's his agent to this day.
Yeah, well, I enjoyed him in that movie Nobody.
Yeah, it was a
me
good little
too.
picture.
That was a good
It
movie.
was a good movie.
Yeah.
I saw it on the plane, and then I rented it at home so Faye could see it, and she liked it.
Yeah.
And Faye has her own rating system. When I first started dating Faye, her late husband didn't allow her to see violent movies, and so anyway, her rating system is one eye covered or two eyes covered. We went and saw Saw 4. Saw, one of the Saw movies when we first started dating, and because we'd hop from theater to theater. I kind of missed that after COVID. So as we'd hop from theater, we'd go, oh, Saw, okay. So we went into that, and it was like this.
I never saw Saw.
No?
Did you see Saw?
I see Saw.
Is it a hand
Saw.
saw or a power saw?
When I was a
He
kid,
sees seashells at the seashore.
Well, you know what I just watched for the first time was Parasite. That was kind of cool. The Korean movie.
Oh, that it's
Parasite
an interesting
Part 2's coming out.
interesting
Starts
film. I
coming
liked
up.
it. Marjorie
The
didn't like
story
it.
was great.
Marjorie didn't like it. I liked it. It won
I
the
love the story.
it
was
won
like
the
reading
Academy
through-
Award for Best Picture.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I turned off Power of the Dog. I got bored with it.
So it was
Everybody
like
says Power of the Dog that I talk to. Power of the Dog sucks.
I tried watching it, Alex. Right? I turned it off. This Jane Campion cannot make a movie. I don't.
I don't think
she.
she makes good movies. I
don't
really
think
don't.
so either. I tried the piano, stunk. I said, this movie stinks. I said.
Yeah, but Power of the
I was
Dog.
thinking of you. I said, let me
Do
see
you know
he
what
thinks
else
of
is a terrible movie?
Which one?
What do you call it? Licorice Pizza.
Oh, I didn't see that. Any good, Alex?
Didn't I just say, well, you know what sucks?
Oh, it did suck. I like his movies too. Now it's struggling.
I said, do you know what sucks? And he said, what? And I said, licorice pizza. And then he says his follow-up question was, is it any good? What
You gotta listen.
What are you, a Republican asking a person on who's up for the Supreme Court some
I'll wait
questions
for
here?
preview.
This show has almost all Tony backgrounds.
Yeah. That's it.
Oh, yeah, we got...
Slowly but surely.
Oh, Alan's in my house now.
Yeah. What did you think
Where's my
about
coffee?
Schindler's List?
Oh, I love that.
That was a
Movie.
good movie. I saw that in this.
That was a great movie.
Yeah. I
Yes.
mean,
It was a good movie. I thought it was a good movie.
Won the Academy Award for Best Director and Best Movie in 19.
Well, it was a perfect example of Steven Spielberg's philosophy of filmmaking, that if you can't be sincere, at least fake it. So, that's how I
Alex,
felt
you had
on
the
Schindler's
Seinfeld where
List.
Jerry makes out through Schindler's List and his mother finds him?
Yeah, that was very
That
funny.
was a great
This
episode.
DVD
Yeah.
This DVD was the interview that they did of Holocaust survivors and their families. This was my friend Michael Hirsch's dad, Sam Hirsch, who's on the end now. He's in his 90s, but he survived the concentration camps, and so what they did for the movie, I guess, is they interviewed all of these Holocaust survivors.
This was after the fact. This was after Spielberg found out there was a Holocaust.
Oh, well.
He made a movie
anyway,
about it, and then he said, hey, that really existed, didn't it?
Yeah. This is an interview.
Yeah.
Hey, I just looked up Vladimir Putin's IMDb.
Oh.
He's been in a lot of movies.
Wait, no.
Yes, he has.
The Naked Gun 2.5.
I'd say that.
Does he have to try out?
Wait a minute.
Or-
Let me look up my
I think he gets
IMDb
the-
here. How do you spell? How do you?
Put me in the movie.
Oh,
and
he has
I'll
a
have
pretty
you
like
killed.
he has like a real headshot and everything.
Wait a minute.
Look at this.
Putin.
Vladimir Putin.
Putin. Well, I don't have to go Vladimir. Is there
Yeah.
any other?
I
Oh,
know.
I didn't realize he was 70. He didn't look that old to me.
Putin.
That's pretty old, isn't it?
Yeah, no shit.
He looks younger.
Well, here we go. Vladimir Putin. No, it's it's a bunch of interviews. I think is what
The Putin interviews, others some a bunch of Russian stuff.
There's no acting though, but if you look up what's his name?
Zelensky.
He's got quite a record.
Well, Putin has 87 credits as
himself.
Yeah, they're all as himself.
Yeah.
Now Zelensky's show is going to be picked up by Netflix.
It's on Netflix now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Servant of the People.
So is it in English or Ukrainian, Russian?
Ukrainian subtitles.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So yeah. I mean, and he, what's so fascinating is that I got to get back here to this. There we go. That it's kind of art imitating life, or life imitating art, really, because in this thing he plays somebody who's just a common guy who becomes the president of Ukraine,
right?
And then he eventually became president of the Ukraine, and look at what he's doing. And I think that the fact that he was an actor and a comedian and all of that gave him the chops to be able to do on the world stage what he's doing now so effectively.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
I think so.
So
yeah.
I think the only thing that it's proven to us is if you get a good actor, he can be a good president, but if you get a bad one, you get Reagan.
Yeah.
So Ray, are you running or?
Yeah. I am. I'm running really fast as far away as I can.
But you wouldn't have thought that a guy who was like Zelensky, who basically became president because he played a president on TV, would be a total failure at being president, right? I mean, look at what happened with Trump. We got a phony, baloney.
Well, he was an executive, CEO.
Reality show, yeah, so-called CEO. But
Yeah, he
anyway,
worked for his father at least.
but this guy became a great leader. I mean, he became an example to his people of what bravery is in the face of adversity.
You think it was in the script?
No, I don't think it was. He has stood up to Putin. I mean, he has just looked him square in the eyes. I mean, metaphorically, square in the eyes, and has just done a brilliant job of tweaking the whiskers on the cat.
What did they say? They retook areas around Kiev.
They've retaken areas around Kiev. They are estimating that what did I see? What was the figure I saw? 17,000 Russians have died as a result of this thing.
Yeah.
And then just think how many injured, like 3 or 4 for every death.
Yeah. But I mean,
And the Russians won't send them back to Russia.
No, if they go back to
as
Russia,
a matter of fact,
Siberia.
here's how decent the Ukrainians are. They're taking the dead Russian bodies and putting them in refrigerated trucks.
I thought they were mass graves.
No. Their people are going into mass graves.
Oh.
I think they're only 1,000 or so, maybe 2,000 tops. It's nowhere near 17,000. Okay, but they've been putting the bodies in refrigerated trucks, and if the Russians want to come get them, come get them. I mean, that's how
Then they'll
decent.
shoot at the Russians, like they did to the Ukrainians in the bread line.
Yeah, I mean it's time we just, I think, stood up to Putin. I think it's just time. He can't win if NATO wants to go up against him. He can't win that fight. NATO's got 4 times the armament that Russia does.
Did you hear that Putin bombed his own oil refinery today?
No.
Yeah, he destroyed a Russian oil refinery, by mistake.
He was aiming for Mar-a-Lago, and the missile went the wrong direction.
Why was he? This was a Russian refinery in Ukraine.
I'm not sure if it was in Ukraine or I had read it about 2 hours ago.
But people who know what's going on and are privy to it say that he's winning this thing. You know, that they're
Russians?
they're outdoing the Russians. You know, I mean, at a terrible cost.
They're holding their ground.
You know, I'll tell you something. Let me see if I can.
I disagree with you guys, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I've seen so many of these cities are destroyed.
I'll tell you, there's one
They
advantage.
don't exist anymore.
There's one advantage. Okay. Guy comes over this weekend, picks up all his stuff that he claims was his.
Yeah.
Okay. With him, he takes, like, for instance, 2 cabinets that held all the stuff in the bathroom. All right, so we let him take them. Marjorie orders a new couple of them up from Wayfair or someplace like that. We hire a guy to come in and put them together because those things are impossible to put together. I said to myself, if I was 20 years younger, would I be able to put this thing together? And I went, not in less than 3 or 4 days. You know, this guy did it in a half hour. But anyway, and we got a new one, and they look terrific. The old ones look like crap. Well, that's what's going to happen to Ukraine. Once this is over, if they prevail, okay, they got a country to repair. You have no idea to begin with how fast you start rebuilding. And when they're rebuilt, that's going to be one of the most modern countries in the world. Okay.
Ukraine says Russia accidentally bombed its own Rosneft refinery. And this happened at 9 a.m. this morning.
Mm-hmm. They've also been shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, no, it says the Russian aircraft fired upon an oil refinery in Lysychansk, which is owned by a Russian oil company.
Oh, okay, but it isn't a Russian. It's a Russian owned.
It's Russian owned, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you something. You know, I mean, I think it's going to be amazing what's going on. I think that every person who knows about military says the Russians are losing this thing, and part of the reason is they didn't think, how are we going to get the gas to all those tanks? They're completely out of gas. They're not moving. They're just sitting there in the road, ready to be roadkill. You know?
Why aren't the Ukrainians shooting down? You know, disabling these tanks?
They are.
They are.
Thousands, hundreds of tanks have been destroyed.
Yeah.
Well, there was 44 miles of them sitting on the road, and I believe that the Ukrainians have 29 MiGs because other than the ones that they're talking about giving them, and I don't see why they couldn't shoot it. Now, I also saw today they used an American missile system to take out a couple of tanks, 2 tanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, 2. Thank you very much.
The Javelin.
Yeah, Javelin missile systems.
Yeah, but they could stand to have more, and they get more tanks if they had more.
Them javelins.
Mhm.
You know, one thing I heard today was, you can actually check this out if you look at live webcams of Ukraine. These cities, as far as the eye can see from these live webcams, you would never know there was a war going on, except there's no people around. So what Russia hasn't done yet, and what they're concerned about, is what they did in Chechnya, was get so frustrated they just throw hundreds and hundreds of missiles at every city until they just
they've been doing that. They've been doing
rubble.
But they've been doing that to Mariupol.
Yes, Mariupol, but the other places they haven't yet, and they can. They just haven't done it.
Yeah,
and that's the downside of Ukraine doing so well.
Somehow,
but even Mariupol, if you look at the webcam, most of the city still looks fine.
No, it doesn't. I saw one.
I just
today.
looked at a live webcam.
Wait a minute. I saw a drone that went over Mariupol.
Oh, okay.
And it doesn't look too good.
Okay.
It doesn't look good.
They're showing you what they want you to see.
Well, no, but when you're doing a drone flying over a city from that distance, you're going to see a large range of buildings, and not many of them were still in good shape. Okay.
So I just looked yesterday, and I saw a bunch that were.
I mean, what I'm saying is that, like, for instance, Lviv. Some guy was reporting from Lviv yesterday, which has not been taking a brunt of anything because it's so close to the Polish border. I don't think the Russians want to attack it because if anything strays into Poland, that's it. Game over. Okay. So anyway, he was in Lviv, and yeah, there's been some bombing going on in Lviv, but not much. And there are people walking down the street like nothing's happening, you know. So there are parts of that country where it's still been spared the wrath of war.
Yeah. You know, you say that if something went into Poland that, you know, you better watch out, you know, bar the door. I have a feeling that there'd be more restraint because I don't think anybody wants to get into a nuclear war or.
You know something? I'm tired of hearing that. We're not going to get into a nuclear war. Okay.
No, I think there's going to be more restraint, even if
no. I think that fear is preventing us from from saving human lives. Okay, and that Putin is counting on that fear that we have about his nuclear capabilities. That really, fuck him. You know, go ahead, give us your best shot because you want to hit us with a nuclear weapon. Russia will be dust.
Yeah, but you know, these are the same people that Biden wants to negotiate with over the Iran nuclear deal. So he wants Russia at the table to broker this deal, and here we are.
Well, I think he's given up on that.
Yeah,
he's given up on that. No.
Well, that's the best thing that I've heard. You know, for Israel, that's for sure. You know, because putting nuclear arms in the hands of the Iranians, or even giving it to them in 10 years.
Well, thank you, Israel, for not being that much in the group of people who wants to go help Ukraine. You know.
Oh, I know. I think that they are.
They haven't been.
See those commercials for Yael Eckstein? You know, she's using the same old lady that's starving to give, you know, the Jewish old lady in Russia. That's the same old lady that they're using to raise money for the people starving in Ukraine. You know, Christians and Jews.
But that isn't Israel.
Well,
that's like some, you know, Chaim Yankel group trying to raise money.
You know, Phil's not much of a Zionist anyhow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, really.
Yeah. Well, neither am I either. You know.
No. Well, yeah, we know you're not.
But anyway, like the Indian government has not come out against Russia.
No, matter of fact, they're still trading with Russia, between the Indians and the Chinese, all buying Russian oil.
Hi, Pam. I'm saying hi to Pam.
Yeah,
everybody wave to Pam. Hello, Pam.
Hey, Pam, how you doing?
How are you guys?
Now you're on.
I was on Tuesday. Okay.
So
Not cold. Jeff finally figured out how to use the mute button, but at the wrong time.
Yeah. And we had a small visit by Adrian. That was nice.
I saw that.
That was very nice. And here comes our theme song.
Wow, that was over fast.
Yeah, it went really nicely. You know, all day long I felt I'm so tired I don't know if I can do a show, and then I do the show and I'm fine. Now I'll be through with the show. I'll be too tired to post everything, you know. Anyway. Hey.
Put a stamp on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that coffee looks good, Alex. I'm going to have a cup.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it for tonight. Thank you very much, Phil, for joining us and sticking around.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you for inviting me.
Big appreciation to Jeff for joining us tonight, as well as Alan and Charlie and Tony. Don't answer his calls, okay? Don't
block him.
Right.
I don't even know what his name is.
Brian Neary. You don't mind getting messages from him. It's something for you to do on the way home.
He's like my big brother.
Yeah. And Ray,
I don't think
thank
the
you so
McLaren
much.
Comes with a radio.
Yeah. Everybody, give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye at you. Okay. There they go, folks. Yeah, they're through for tonight. And we'll be back again tomorrow night with them. By the way, Jack Bishop is next. He's here with The Intersection. It's a really fine program, and you can call him using Skype and the name Gabnet Live. Okay? I'll be back again tomorrow night. Same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, as always, if you see her, Tell her I love her. And by the way, if you're my age, you can now go out and get a 4th shot, 2nd booster. I'm over to the pharmacy day after tomorrow to do it. See y'all later. Jack's next. Bye-bye.
This is Jack Bishop, the Raymond Reddington of Internet Talk, and had they